Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Baron here. Now I'm going to be covering the American Premium Tier 14 Grumman XP-50. Now, first off, I want to say one thing that as of today, July the 3rd, this aircraft is currently on sale for about 50% off. As a result of Gaijin's Summer in War Thunder event, which will be a week-long thing, and we should be seeing a pretty good, 50% sale on a premium aircraft each day. The other day, it was the I-16 Type 28, and before that, it was the Hellcat. But let's get back to the XP-50. I was going to do the Kai 61, but as it was on sale today, I figured it was rather appropriate to see if any of you guys wanted to buy it. Since it was 50% off, I decided to buy it. And there's a couple key points of this aircraft. It's fun to fly. It's difficult to use in historical battles, and that's mainly as a result of its tier. This aircraft is nothing special at Tier 14. In fact, I don't think it should be at Tier 14, my personal opinion. It has a decent climb rate, it is not very maneuverable, it turns like a bus, and then I think one of the biggest weaknesses is it has decent armament. It has two 50 caliber or 12.7 millimeter machine guns with 1,000 rounds or 500 rounds per gun. But one of the key weaknesses is its two 20 millimeter cannons. That's decent firepower in its cannons, so if you're an American and you want some cannons on your aircraft, it's a good choice in that regard. For what you're seeing right here is me being just unable to turn with some of these BF-109s, and that's kind of, it's the Tier 14 puts you in games like this. There's not too many opponents you're going to be going after except for high-tier Germans, and they're boom and zoom aircraft, and you're a boom and zoom aircraft in, with your XP-50, but you're going to find yourself hard pressed to be able to fight these kinds of aircraft, and that is what the German lineup will throw at you. So excuse me. So you can see me realizing my demise is imminent and deciding, hey, I'm going to go after another ground target or two, because I know that I just cannot outturn the Germans with that aircraft. Its turning is not good. But I think the key thing is this would be a good bomber hunter, good heavy fighter, but its lack of ammunition in the cannon department, 120 rounds or 60 rounds per gun, is pretty poor considering it's called a heavy fighter. Now, let's look at some other aircraft. In quick comparison, the Bf-110, German Bf-110, twin-engine aircraft, it's at Tier 4, and it has 360 cannon rounds between two guns. So, 3 times the amount that the XP-50 here has. And you really have to line up your targets. The only kills I really got was when, as a result of the poor turn rate, was as a result of lining them up, and usually if they were distracted going after another target, as you just saw. But it's very difficult, and I feel like a lot of people were saying that, if you want an American plane, a premium American plane with cannons, you might as well go for the Spitfire Mark 9, and it has double the amount of cannon rounds, as well as it's a Spitfire, so it can turn much better and perform, relatively superior with regards to the XP-50. So the main reason I got it today was the 50% reduction in cost. Now, if they were to drop this down a tier, like on the dev server, this was at Tier 8 initially, and then they changed it. I feel like anywhere between 8 and 10 would be relatively appropriate. And then maybe if you could even increase the cannon rounds. Now, it's an experimental aircraft and it's a premium aircraft, so I think that you could rationalize an increase in cannon rounds, because it's a heavy fighter. It needs a lot of ammunition to make up for its deficiencies, in that it cannot turn. If anything gets on at 6 and it's faster than it, you are going to die. That is just facts right there. But I still had fun with the aircraft. It was definitely a challenge. You like the hitting power of the cannons, but your ammunition will go quickly, and the opponents that you're tiered up against, I think, is the biggest detractor from this aircraft. But as it's 50% on sale, and I think you could expect a tier change in the future, because this is not played a lot, and it would be played more with a proper tier change. So that is my opinion on the matter. Next, I'm going to be covering the Kai 61, which is what I was supposed to be covering today, but as the sale took precedent over that, we saw the XP-50. Now look at that score. That right there is another reason to get premium aircraft. And the XP-50 is enjoying a 500% boost to Silver Lions earned in historical battles. I'm Baron. Thanks for watching. Hold down the WEP, and right after you hold down the WEP, you hold the S and the Q button simultaneously until you finish your twisted loop. Now, Hinari Komi means turning in, and it was a Japanese dogfighting maneuver that they taught. And here I'm showing the maneuver again. But basically what you do is you use this when the enemy is coming in on your 6 o'clock or behind you. And they're lining up on you, but they have superior speed or energy. Now I want to point out one thing.